I was 32 years old, successful and always put my family first. For years, I had been financially supporting them, covering my siblings, college tuition, giving my parents monthly allowances, and paying off various loans. When I traveled home for my mother's birthday, I experienced the cruelest joke when my family canceled my flight and abandoned me at the airport. That was the final straw that broke the camel's back. Before I dive into my story, where are you watching from today? If you find value in what I am about to share, please hit the like button and subscribe so you do not miss out on important life lessons from my experiences. Stick around to discover how I turned this painful betrayal into a powerful life lesson about self-respect. Growing up in a modest neighborhood in Ohio, I always dreamed of making something of myself. After years of hard work, student loans, and countless sleepless nights, I became the first person in my family to graduate from a prestigious university. My career in software development took off quickly, and by 30, I was earning six figures at a top tech company in San Francisco. Unlike many of my colleagues who spent their substantial incomes on luxury apartments and exotic vacations, I dedicated much of my earnings to supporting my family back in Ohio. My parents, Frank and Diana, were approaching retirement age, with minimal savings and a mortgage they struggled to pay. My younger brother Jason had entrepreneurial aspirations, but lacked the capital to start his business. My sister Amanda was halfway through her undergraduate degree, with mounting student loans, threatening her ability to continue. I never hesitated to help. When Dad called about potentially losing the house, I immediately paid off $30,000 of their mortgage. When Jason pitched his tech startup idea, I invested $45,000 as seed money. When Amanda needed $15,000 for her next semester's tuition, I transferred the money the same day. Beyond these large expenses, I sent my parents $2,000 monthly to help with bills and medications. During our weekly video calls, my mother would often say, "Roderick, you are such a blessing to this family." My father would nod in agreement, adding, "We are so proud of the man you have become." These moments made all the sacrifices worthwhile. Despite the physical distance, I felt deeply connected to my family, bound by love and mutual support. Working 80-hour weeks in San Francisco was exhausting, but knowing I was providing stability for my family kept me motivated. I had not been home in 6 months due to an important project, but when Mom's 60th birthday approached, I requested time off well in advance. This milestone celebration was important to her, and I wanted to make it special. I booked a first-class ticket to Ohio, ordered a custom-made necklace with her birthstone, and arranged for her favorite bakery to deliver a special cake. The night before my flight, I called home. "I cannot wait to see you all tomorrow," I said, feeling genuine excitement bubble up inside me. Mom sounded equally thrilled, and Dad mentioned they had some surprise planned for the party. Jason and Amanda were apparently helping with decorations. Everything seemed perfect. As I packed my suitcase, I felt a profound happiness. Despite the physical and emotional toll of my demanding job, these family moments made everything worthwhile. I fell asleep that night with a sense of contentment, eagerly anticipating the warm hugs and laughter that awaited me the next day. My alarm rang at 4:30 in the morning. I showered quickly, double-checked my luggage, and headed to San Francisco International Airport with plenty of time to spare. The morning air was crisp, and the sunrise painted the sky in beautiful hues of orange and pink. I took it as a good omen for the journey ahead. At the check-in counter, the attendant typed my information into her computer. Her friendly smile suddenly faltered. "I am sorry, Mr. Willis, but it appears your reservation was canceled late last night." "That cannot be right," I replied, confused. "I confirmed everything yesterday." She typed more, her expression growing uncomfortable. The cancellation was processed at 11:27 p.m. It appears the request came through the account that originally booked the ticket. My stomach tightened. The booking had been made through my personal account, which only I should have access to, unless someone knew my password. Jason had helped me set up my frequent flyer account years ago. Could he possibly still have access? "Is there another flight I can take today?" I asked, trying to remain calm. "The next flight to Columbus is full, sir." I could put you on standby, but with the holiday weekend, your chances are slim. There is a guaranteed seat on tomorrow morning's flight. I stepped aside, pulling out my phone to call my family. No answer from Mom or Dad. I tried Jason. Straight to voicemail. Amanda's phone rang, but eventually went unanswered. I sent text messages to everyone. At airport, flight shows canceled. Please call as soon as possible. For 3 hours, I waited in the terminal, making repeated attempts to contact my family. My anxiety grew with each unanswered call. Had there been an emergency? Was everyone okay? The uncertainty was maddening. Finally, my phone buzzed with a text from Jason. "Just a joke, big bro. You are always too serious." I stared at the screen in disbelief. A joke. They had deliberately canceled my flight as a prank. I immediately called him, but he did not pick up. Another text came through. "Chill out. You can catch another flight tomorrow. We will save you some cake, maybe, lol." The realization hit me like a physical blow. This was intentional. My family had deliberately sabotaged my travel plans, knowing how important this event was to all of us. The airline customer service confirmed that no refund would be processed since the cancellation occurred less than 24 hours before the flight. I had lost $800 and would miss my mother's birthday celebration. I approached the ticket counter again, desperate to find any solution. "I will pay whatever premium necessary for a seat today," I told the agent. She searched every possible route, including connecting flights through other cities, but nothing was available. The best she could offer was the next morning's direct flight. With no other options, I booked a room at an airport hotel. As I wheeled my luggage across the street to the hotel, I felt a mix of confusion, hurt, and growing anger. What kind of family would do this? How could they think this was funny? The questions swirled in my mind as I checked into a sterile, overpriced airport hotel room that would be my home for the night. Alone in my hotel room, I sat on the edge of the bed, still processing what had happened. This prank had cost me nearly $1,000 between the lost flight and hotel room. But the financial loss paled in comparison to the emotional impact. I opened my laptop and absently scrolled through social media. My stomach dropped when I saw posts from my family appearing in my feed. There they were, smiling in party hats surrounding my mother and her birthday cake. The caption read, "Perfect celebration with almost the whole family. Too bad Roderick was too busy with work to join us." Too busy with work. They had actively prevented me from being there, and were now publicly lying about it. The comments section was filled with relatives saying how much they missed me and how work should not always come first. Each comment felt like another twist of the knife. I called my mother, needing to hear her acknowledge the wrong that had been done. She answered cheerfully, the sounds of the party continuing in the background. "Happy birthday, Mom," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "Roderick, we miss you here. Everyone is asking about you. Mom, you know why I am not there. Someone canceled my flight as a joke. Did you know about this?" Her laugh cut through me. "Oh, that was just a bit of fun the kids planned. You are always so serious about everything." "Could not. You have just booked another flight." "There were no other flights available," I explained, disbelief coloring my words. "I am stuck at an airport hotel until tomorrow." "Well, these things happen. The party is wonderful anyway. Your Aunt Martha brought her famous potato salad." She did not understand. Or worse, she did not care. Before I could respond, my phone buzzed with a text from Amanda Way to ruin Mom's birthday by making her feel bad. It was just a joke. Learn to take one sometime. I ended the call with my mother feeling completely disconnected from the family I had sacrificed so much for. As the evening progressed, I began reflecting on other instances where my family had taken advantage of my generosity or dismissed my feelings. There was the time I missed my college roommate's wedding because my father claimed to need emergency financial assistance, only to discover later he had used the money for a fishing boat. There was the important job interview I was late for, because Amanda called crying about a life-or-death situation that turned out to be drama with her boyfriend. Scrolling through my email, I found financial statements from Jason's business. Despite telling me his company was struggling, his personal expenditures showed purchases at luxury retailers and weekend trips to Miami. My investment was not going toward business growth as promised. More disturbing discoveries followed. My parents' credit card statements, which I had access to because I paid the bills, showed purchases at high-end stores and restaurants during the same months they called, claiming they could not afford groceries or medications. Throughout the evening, calls and texts from family members trickled in. Not one contained a genuine apology. Instead, they ranged from dismissive "cannot believe you are so upset over a small joke" to accusatory "you have changed since moving to California become too uptight." Each message reinforced what was becoming painfully clear: my family did not respect me. They viewed me not as a person with feelings and boundaries, but as a resource to be exploited. The realization was devastating, but it also sparked something new inside me. For the first time, I began questioning whether I should continue enabling their behavior. The next morning, I caught the first flight to Columbus. By the time I arrived at my parents' house in the late afternoon, the party was long over. Balloons sagged from the ceiling, dirty dishes filled the sink, and leftover food sat congealing on the dining table. The house had the hollow feel of a celebration recently ended. My mother greeted me with a casual, "There you are," as if I had merely stepped out for an errand, not missed her entire birthday due to their prank. My father barely looked up from his television program. Jason and Amanda were in the kitchen picking at leftovers. "We need to talk," I said, my voice steady but firm. "All of us. Now." "About what?" Jason asked, his tone dismissive. "Are you still upset about yesterday? It was just a joke." "A joke that cost me $800, made me miss Mom's birthday, and forced me to spend the night alone in an airport hotel." "You can afford it," Amanda said with a shrug. "Not like you need the money." That comment ignited something in me. "You think I do not need money? Do you have any idea how hard I work for every dollar I send to this family? While you all live off my earnings." My father finally muted the TV. "Now hold on. No one asked you to support us. That was your choice. Was it? Every month one of you calls, with some urgent need. Every family conversation turns to money eventually, and I always give it because I care about you. But after yesterday, I am wondering if any of you care about me at all." "Of course we care about you, sweetie," my mother interjected. "You are just being too sensitive. Children play pranks. It is normal family behavior." "I am 32 years old, Mom. Jason is 29. Amanda is 24. We are not children, and what happened was not normal." The conversation deteriorated from there. Instead of acknowledging my hurt, they formed a united front against me. Dad claimed I had become too California and had lost my sense of humor. Mom repeated that I was overreacting. Jason suggested therapy for my anger issues. Then the truth started spilling out almost accidentally. During the argument, my mother mentioned their recent cruise to the Bahamas. I froze. "What cruise? Last month you told me you could not afford Dad's heart medication." A flicker of guilt crossed her face before she recovered. "Well, we needed a vacation. The stress of your father's health issues has been difficult." One revelation led to another. Jason admitted that his business had been profitable for over a year, but he saw no reason to stop accepting my investments when I offered them so freely. Amanda confessed she had used tuition money for spring break trips, with friends reasoning that college is about the experience, not just classes. The final blow came when I discovered a group chat on Jason's phone that he had accidentally left open on the kitchen counter. A family chat that I was not part of, where they had planned the flight cancellation in detail, laughing about how I would react and taking bets on whether I would blow a gasket. Messages dating back months showed them regularly discussing how to maximize what they could get from me financially, while mocking my work ethic and generosity behind my back. I felt physically ill. Years of sacrifice, of putting their needs before my own, and this was how they saw me. Not as a beloved son and brother, but as a gullible cash machine they could toy with for amusement. Without a word, I walked out of the house and checked into a nearby hotel. That night I made the most difficult decision of my life. I would no longer enable my family's exploitation and disrespect. It was time to cut the financial cord completely. The next morning I woke with a clarity I had not felt in years. I called my financial advisor and my lawyer, scheduling immediate meetings for when I returned to San Francisco. Then I began meticulously documenting every financial contribution I had made to my family over the past 5 years. The total was staggering well into the 6 figures. I visited the local branch of my bank and terminated all automatic transfers to my family members' accounts. I contacted the mortgage company holding my parents' loan for which I had been making payments and informed them I would no longer be responsible for the account. I emailed the bursar's office at Amanda's university, withdrawing my authorization to pay her tuition directly. With all immediate financial ties severed, I returned to my parents' house for what I knew would be a difficult conversation. I found them in the living room, along with Jason and Amanda. They seemed surprised by my calm demeanor. "I have made some decisions," I began, my voice level. "Effective immediately, I will no longer be providing financial support to any of you." The reaction was immediate and loud. My mother began crying. My father turned red with anger. Jason started arguing, and Amanda looked stunned. I let them vent for several minutes before raising my hand for silence. "For years I have given you everything I could, often at great personal sacrifice. In return, I asked only for respect and appreciation. The events of the past 2 days have shown me I have received neither. Instead, I have been mocked, manipulated, and taken for granted. You cannot just cut us off." My father shouted. "What about the mortgage? We will lose the house. You have 2 incomes and no other significant expenses. The mortgage is manageable if you budget properly," I replied calmly. Jason stepped forward. "My business is at a critical growth stage. I need the next round of investment you promised. Your business has been profitable for over a year by your own admission. You have taken advantage of my generosity while lying about your finances. That stops now." Amanda was crying openly. "What about my tuition I will have to drop out? There are student loans, scholarships, and part-time jobs, just like most students use. I worked 30 hours a week during college while maintaining a scholarship. You can do the same." My mother made one final emotional appeal. "After all we have done for you, raising you, loving you, this is how you repay us. By abandoning your family when they need you." I looked her directly in the eyes. "You abandoned me at an airport as a joke. You lied about how you used the money I sent. You mocked me behind my back while taking my support. This is not about punishment. It is about respect and responsibility." Over the next few days, the pressure intensified. Extended family members called to tell me I was being cruel. Old family friends reached out to talk sense into me. My parents alternated between tearful pleas and angry accusations. Through it all, I maintained my resolve. Before leaving Ohio, I gave each family member a letter, outlining the conditions under which I might consider providing financial assistance in the future. These included transparent communication, genuine respect for boundaries, and financial accountability. Whether they would meet these conditions remained to be seen, but for the first time the choice was theirs, not mine. 6 months passed since that watershed moment. The transition was not easy for any of us, but it proved necessary and ultimately transformative. My parents, faced with the reality of living within their means, found part-time jobs to supplement their retirement income. They downsized to a smaller house that they could actually afford. Our communications were strained at first, but gradually became more authentic as the financial element was removed from our relationship. Jason's business faced a reckoning when he could no longer rely on my investments. He was forced to become more disciplined with his business practices and more accountable to his other investors. To his credit, he rose to the challenge. His company survived, though, on a more modest scale than his grand visions. More importantly, our interactions slowly evolved from transactional to brotherly. Amanda's transformation was the most profound. After initially dropping out for a semester, she secured a combination of scholarships and a campus job that allowed her to continue her education. She sent me a heartfelt letter apologizing for her behavior and expressing gratitude for the support I had provided. She even paid back a small portion of what I had given her, insisting it was the beginning of eventually repaying everything. As for me, I experienced a kind of rebirth. Without the constant drain on my finances and emotional energy, I reduced my working hours and began investing in my own well-being. I started therapy to address the patterns that had led me to become an enabler. I reconnected with old friends and made new ones who appreciated me for myself, not what I could provide. Most importantly, I learned that true love involves boundaries. Supporting others should not come at the expense of your own well-being or dignity. Generosity without accountability often enables harmful behavior rather than helping. Family relationships, like all relationships, must be built on mutual respect to thrive. Today, I maintain cautious contact with my family. I have provided limited financial assistance in true emergencies with clear terms and expectations. Our relationship is more balanced, more honest, and ultimately healthier than it was before. The prank that seemed so cruel at the time became the catalyst for necessary change. Sometimes the most painful moments lead to the most important growth. By canceling their financial support, I did not just stand up for myself. I gave my family the opportunity to develop responsibility, self-sufficiency, and authentic connection. Have you ever had to establish difficult boundaries with loved ones? Share your experience in the comments below. If this story resonated with you, please like this video and subscribe to hear more insights about family dynamics, self-respect, and personal growth. Remember that standing up for yourself is not selfish. It is an act of self-love that ultimately benefits everyone involved. Thank you for listening to my story, and I wish you the courage to create healthy boundaries in your own relationships.